Alright, so I am super excited. I have my first scroller box. This should actually be my second. I've yet to receive my October box, but this is the November one. And I apologise, someone's whippersnippering in my neighbour's whippersnippering their yard, so hopefully they're not too noisy, but I haven't even looked at this yet. I'm so excited. I've turned the back off. Ooh. I don't know where to start. Let's see. We've got our sticker. Looks like an ice cream. And a lolly, and it says that it's vegan, rhubarb and custard. That doesn't sound very appealing, but okay. I guess my wrapping paper didn't make it, but that's okay. What else have we got? Poscas. Yeah, this is the November box, I think. Actually, this might be the October box because I had to get the October box reset. We've got poscas. These are such gorgeous colours, oh my gosh. I already have a white, but I don't think I have this white. I love this colour story. And I was just using poscas the other day, so that's so good. Oh, we won't look at that yet. A Faber-Castell Eco Pigment. 0.6, that's quite thick. Then we have another Posca. It's like a fine liner one, maybe a bit of a bullet, finer bullet. And a Staedtler Mars Lumograph Black. I don't know if these are erasable. And then we've got a, oh, here's the artwork. Wow. That's so cool. And I've got a Zine that takes us through everything. And the artist, this is our artist, SP0. And then we've got some marker pad. That's good. None of my paper, I haven't tried it on actually like watercolor paper, but I find that Poscas tear up paper real quick. Ooh, what will we do? We'll see. I've got to get to work though. Okay, so I have to apologise for the average lighting and the fact that I forgot to press record whilst swatching. So I'm just going to take you through what I did, and first I tested out the Mars Lumograph pencil. It was very dark, and when I went to erase it, it was quite smudgy, so I don't think this would be great for erasing. Next we had the fine liner. It was nice and thick and inky, and I just tried testing an eraser over it, and it didn't smudge at all, which was good. All the Posca pens activated really easily, which I kind of knew they would because I've used them before. They all flowed really nicely, and I actually got a bit too aggressive with the white one and a heap of white poured out onto my page, so just take your time if you've never used them before, because you've got to press the bullet nib down to get the paint flowing. Now, as I said, they do flow really well, and you pretty much get what I found on this paper, an opaque coverage straight up, but I did want to test if I went back and forth a little bit, and this paper did tear up quite quickly. I think I should be able to cover the area without having to go back and forth because it flows so nicely, but that is something that I will figure out once I get to the drawing, because at this stage I haven't done the drawing yet as I'm voicing over this. The paper is 250 GSM, so it's nice and thick, and the paper is also very white. Some papers are a bit of an off-white, but this paper is bright white. My only concern would be layering the fine liner over the paint markers, because I wonder if that could be a bit damaging to the nib. So I might try that if my drawing calls for it, but if not, we shall see. And I guess printing over to the other page, it did kind of wrinkle the paper a bit, so I probably wouldn't use both sides, but here we go, let's get into the drawing. So a lot of the time when I see people using Posca markers, there's kind of this colour blocking technique, and it's not really a blended technique, so it's out of my comfort zone. And if anyone has seen my trying Posca markers for the first time video, this was a chance for redemption, but also definitely very nerve-wracking to have to try Poscas again, because I'm not very good with them. I struggle with them, and I like to blend my acrylics, so I use paint and brushes and not markers, and it hurts my soul to get a nib of a marker dirty with another marker's colour. Anyway, so I didn't want to go too out there with the drawing. I really enjoyed drawing a frog in my last video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I draw a frog, or I paint a frog and turn it into stickers. I'll link it down below. But I really enjoyed drawing that frog, so I thought I would draw another frog, and this is a little frog, I guess, fishing while sitting on a toadstool. And I did a colour swatch, which I don't often do, but it was helpful, and I always recommend them even though I don't generally take my own advice. I thought I'd also note that I did try blending the markers on kind of the stump of the toadstool, and I didn't like it. I hated getting black in the white marker, so I didn't do it, and I didn't think it would really go with the vibe, with the colour blocking kind of vibe, to then have a blended portion of the artwork. But I also did kind of find this quite difficult because it's a very limited palette. We've got 4 colours, black and white, so normally where I might go for the blue or the green, whatever, I think it was aqua colour of the frog, and then maybe get a bit of a darker colour and colour block in some shadow, I didn't really have that option to do that. And if you can see my little swatch in the left corner, I tried seeing if purple would work like that, and it didn't. So it was just the one colour, and I realised I'd probably have to try and pull out some decent line work to add more depth to the painting. Now, this is my very first SCRAWLRBOX, and it's the September SCRAWLRBOX, and it is now the 10th of November when I'm recording this. So I actually had to have my SCRAWLRBOX resent because it didn't arrive, and it finally did, so I'm very thankful to the customer service team of SCRAWLRBOX. They were great. Unfortunately, I have cancelled my subscription, so I've got the October one coming, but I didn't subscribe for the November one because by the time it was due to be paid, I hadn't received a box at all, so I just didn't feel comfortable paying for 3 without having received one at all. But if I like the next box that I get, I might consider resubscribing because I really enjoy it. It's really fun to just get some random supplies and see what you can make with it. I did have a little bit of an aha moment right before I started this painting and realised, kind of like always, I need to be more patient with poscas because I need to let the acrylic paint dry before I try and go on top with more acrylic paint or another marker. So that did help, just using patience. I think the 2 things that can help an artist most are patience and practice, and I need to practice and practice patience. But I definitely think it helped me a bit with this painting, or drawing, I don't know what you call it, but that definitely did help me a bit with this artwork. When I did use the black posca, which I'm about to pull out now, to do the fishing rod, firstly it's a bit wonky, but I kind of like that, it's kind of cute. But it really just poured out paint, and I tried swatching it a few times or drawing a bit on a spare piece of paper to see if I could get the paint to stop flowing so heavily, but I couldn't, so I didn't use that posca again. It just was too unpredictable for me. In the practice of patience, once the paint was dry, I then used the white to add the dots to the toadstool, as you can see, and also try and add some highlights. Originally I was going to leave these as the paper, but I messed up pretty early on and decided just to try and add them with some white. I had a few issues with the white marker there, especially around the mouth. For some reason it just got clogged or something and didn't really want to work with me, but I swatched it out a few times and it was alright. So I used the Faber-Castell liner to do the line work. This was my original intention, but I was also considering trying to use the black posca, but after that was just a bit too unpredictable. It solidified my choice to use this. Earlier I did question how the liner would work over the paint, and it did struggle. I had to draw it out a lot, and it hurt my soul so much to be slowly destroying this fine liner. I think it survived, but I don't think it would have survived much longer if I continued to use it this way, because often I did have to draw it over the paint. When it was just on the paper, it was absolutely fine. It was really beautiful. It was very pigmented and laid down really nicely, but I did have to use it over the paint and it struggled. When using the liner, I tried to focus on creating some line width variation to help create depth and suggest potential shadow within the piece. So just areas where either like that leg that's kind of laying down the edge of the mushroom, just making some of those lines a little bit thicker just to try and suggest a bit more depth. I did notice the paper tear up just once or twice when laying down the markers. Once when I was just laying the first flat colour at some point, and then a little bit around the mouth when I laid down that white. And I did wait for the paint to dry completely, so I think the paper's just not that durable when it comes to the paint markers. Now, I had no background plans when I sketched this piece out originally, so I just added some little purple clouds into the background to try and fill it out a bit and make it feel like a complete piece. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you like this SCRAWLRBOX unboxing, even though it's a bit late. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe. I am putting videos out every week at the moment. My Instagram is linked down below if you'd like to check that out, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching again, and have a good day.